ஹலோ, யாரு? தன்ராஜா? நான் தான் ராமசாமி பேசுறேன்.
ஹலோ, வெல்கம் டு வாங்க பேசலாம். இன்னைக்கு என்னோட கெஸ்ட் ஹரிணி சோமசேகர். என்னோட வாவ், இட்ஸ் வேவ். ஓகே,
wave.
என்னோட நீஸ். இன்னைக்கு நாங்க வந்து we going to discuss a Netflix movie and a show. Netflix movie வந்து I Care a Lot and Netflix show வந்து Behind Her Eyes அப்படின்ற ரெண்டு show.
Yes.
So let's go. So Harini, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh,
so
wow.
special. I'm so honored.
Yeah. You should be. You know, I have 11 subscribers, you know.
I know. And I'm the third person to do it. I'm one of the subscribers too.
Well, hopefully. Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Okay. So, Harini, very good. So, like you, me, and your sister, like we are in a group, and then like we just share a lot of shows that we watched, and the show that we watched is Behind Her Eyes, and the movie is I Care a Lot. Both of them are the top 2 on Netflix today. So
yes, they are.
Yeah, the number 1 movie and the number 1 show right now.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the movie first. I Care a Lot.
Okay.
So can you tell me briefly just a 2-line story of that movie?
Yeah. So I Care a Lot is basically, so it's a flawed system of these nursing homes. Basically, these 2 people. It starts off with these 2 people, and it's from the get-go. You know that they're doing something bad. They're not trying to hide it. It's very evident. So they're basically stealing, in some sense, this identity of these older people, and they try to find people that don't have any background, and then they take them and they kind of lock them up in this idea of a nursing home. And within that, they happen to, kidnap someone, I guess, that is not of the identity that they think she is. And then there's a lot of background within that. Peter Dinklage is involved. Lots of things are happening. And it's confusing because it's bad guy versus bad guy. So there's not really, you don't know who to support, but it's an interesting movie because there's some justice served. So, and it's also bringing to light the problem of nursing homes and the issues that's happening. So that's the briefest I can give without spoilers.
I don't know. Again, this is not a review; it's a recap. So you can spoil. You can spoil all you want. Yeah,
okay, perfect. If you haven't watched it, don't listen to it.
Don't listen to it. We're going to spoil the hell out of it.
Yeah, come back later. Yeah,
come back later.
But
so I just saw the movie on the Netflix main page, right? I just saw Rosamund Pike and this, what's her name? The old lady, Denise Waste or something. So I just saw the brief line. I thought it was going to be a comedy movie. Because like the old lady, like who plays there, she's a very famous actress. And then she's done a lot of movies, a lot of funny shows too. So they're going to be But boy, was I wrong about that. That's not a comedy at all.
Yeah, and even if they were trying to be comical, because of how just dark the concept was and how violent the movie was, it didn't reach the audience as a comical movie, even if they were trying to. Because I think a lot of the scenes, when these 2 women were just trying to be carefree about this, they're like, oh, it's fine, we're just going to take these identities, it's goofy, whatever, so we're going to take their money. And I'm like, that's not funny to me. This is a real problem. Like, I don't find it funny. I think some things were missed in this movie. It didn't convey all the way.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think like they're meant to be like comical in any sense, because it is basically about robbing old people.
Yeah.
Putting them in prison. Technically it's called nursing home, but it's called nursing homes, right?
Yeah, right.
So like she controls everything. Yeah, she controls everything about them, like what they eat, what they do, everything. Even the medication itself, like she's controlling the whole thing.
And it's extremely overwhelming because she doesn't, when you first meet this character, she doesn't present herself as I'm a villain. She's like, I'm with you, I'm your guardian, I'm gonna take care of you, think of me as your daughter. Like, she's very she's sweet, but she's also cunning, and you know that she's not a great person. So it's weird.
That Peter Dinklage character, I don't know whether to say it's an amazing character or it's kind of, I don't know, for for a ruthless Dawn, all the people, they're like kind of dumb people, they couldn't even Well, like do a simple kidnapping properly.
Yeah,
That's
right.
what it- yeah.
And he would just get upset. Yeah,
He get upset, like throw milkshakes and smoothies around. That's all he does.
it's so rough. Yeah,
But that
yeah,
twist was it was like very, very interesting. The way they like, like they find out like she's not who she is. And then that old lady is also a very, very strong lady. She's like, he's gonna
yeah,
come for you. He's coming. And she's
yeah,
strong, that's nice.
yeah. Which I don't know if they intended to convey the message like that, because you kept wanting to think, okay, his character is so built up. We're seeing him with all these goons, but it doesn't, like, at the end, it doesn't come across that way, right? He kind of gives in to the villains, the main character. It's like, let's become partners, let's do this together. And it's like he's given in. You're not scared of him anymore.
Yeah, it's just kind of, because I think finally I think it does realize that she's not a simple person. She's a very, very cunning and strong person.
Yeah.
Who survived, right? Like, nobody's supposed to survive the car crash. She survived.
Yeah.
She
And
comes
the way
out.
she talks about death, she's like, oh, I don't care, when it's over, it's over. Like,
So
why
yeah,
does it matter?
that is
Like,
amazing. That's very amazing.
it doesn't, it's not like I'm gonna know that I'm dead.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
And that really puts things into, like, she feels like there's nothing to lose,
Yeah.
even
I
if she
think
does
that,
have friends.
she's already like ready for it. Actually, she's kind of
Yeah,
ready.
she
For it.
is.
She knows. Yeah, this is the game. This is how we're gonna play it. That's why, like, she's saying that if you're gonna like come at me, just come at me normally. Don't do all this.
Yeah. Don't do all the most, like, I'll fight, like, I don't care. Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
she's
actually.
kind of insane. But I feel like the only thing that it didn't connect well for me was she got lucky one too many times.
Because like she's the main character.
And
she has to do
that felt like lazy writing. I was
But
like, oh,
no,
so she just-
but she got like a very good justice in the end. Poetic
She did.
justice. Yeah.
that
is
was
the main
that
thing, yeah.
might have been my favorite scene.
Yeah.
When he came up, and as soon as you see him on the scene, you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know.
So they don't drag it, which is nice. Like 2 seconds into you seeing him, he's pulling a gun out and he's shooting.
That's
like
it, that's it,
it's
Yeah.
it's nice.
Yeah, I mean, like the first one, I mean, I don't understand the first like 5 because this guy is coming to the nursing home, he's like fighting with all the other guys, what's happening, what's going on here, and then we realize, okay, she's doing something really bad. Right
Yeah.
now.
Something's coming. Yeah. Yeah. And you wouldn't have really thought about him coming back. That was it was good, felt balanced on both ends. To start with him and to end with him, it felt nice. Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, like she kind of got like whatever she wanted, right? She got this huge wall of people. She can be happy about it. She was succeeded, had all success and everything, but it just went away like that.
And you can tell in that scene where she is shot and she's laying on the ground, like she's bleeding. You think she's gonna say something, but she doesn't say a word. She's just like, I'm just gonna take it as it comes. Like, I already made it. I'm just gonna die. It's okay. Like it is what it is. Yeah, it's interesting. Also, it just the fact that there is no, including the grandma, there's no good people in this movie.
No, nobody.
It's bad versus bad versus bad versus bad. Like there's no good versus bad. And even the guy that shoots her in the end, in some sense is bad because he's taking justice. He's taking justice into his own hands, which it is.
So the other point was sort of like, do you think the judge was involved in all this or no?
Who was?
The judge.
The judge.
I mean,
See, I feel like the judge was just presenting this concept. He wasn't, in my eyes, he wasn't even a character.
Maybe that's what I kind
he
of
was just presenting. Yeah, he was just presenting this concept of like the law system and like this whole judicial system is also flawed. Like he doesn't care enough to actually investigate. He's like, oh, you're giving me this portrayal of like, oh, you're possibly a good person, you're a guardian. I'm just gonna believe it. I'm not even gonna question that someone's questioning you being bad. Which is bad. Like that's not a good thing.
And another point is like nobody has complained about her so far, right? She kind of got away with everything. The only guy who came with the lawyer, and that's a very, very amazing scene. The lawyer who comes in, he just goes slowly builds up and then he say like 150, 250. So,
he did a great job. He really did a great job. Yeah, and his character was nice because he wasn't afraid of her. But when he goes back to see Peter Dinklage, I'm forgetting his name in the movie. Yeah. He was so afraid of him. He's like literally hiding. He's like, don't hit me. Yeah, it was great.
His name was Roman, right? That's just the bad guy's name is Roman.
Oh,
yeah, the bad guy's name is Roman. Yeah, the lawyers is amazing though. And like she's not scared of him too. She's not afraid of him too. And like, she realizes,
that was interesting. She didn't need anyone to be her advocate. She was speaking up for herself, which was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a it was very, what do you say, like what I thought and what I saw was like two different things. So it was kind of a huge
Yeah.
surprise. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
You the only thing that's in the cover that you're going into is this idea of like, oh, it's a feminist driven kind of move. They're trying to drive that. I don't know if it came across, because I feel like at too many points where gender didn't need to be brought up, it was brought up, and it just felt kind of overwhelming. But she was like very like girl boss, girls, it's like this, that. It wasn't an action, it was a lot of talking, and then she just got lucky.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel like she was doing anything.
Yeah, it was all about that, right? Like she had a girlfriend. She had a girlfriend. It's all there's no male figure in her life. There's zero male figure.
Yeah.
Even like she's in control of everybody who's there, including the doctor at the nursing home. Right? She doesn't tell them, do this, okay? Uppers for night, downers for day. That was
right. And this idea that the person that she was kidnapping was also the grandma, is a female, is that she didn't feel the sense of like, oh, I'm not going to do this to another woman. She didn't think that twice. She was just like, just get her in the van, like just take her, like it's fine. It was, I guess, feminist in some sense. Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
So did you like the movie at the end or no? Very happy?
I think it could have been better. I don't know. There's a lot of it. I have very mixed feelings about it. I like parts of it. I like the ending, but it felt draggy at some places. It felt like lazy writing in a lot of places. I didn't feel like Peter Dinklage and the grandma got a good ending. A lot of plot holes.
No, but the grandma, what they're showing, like, oh, they came out, right? Like she came out.
They came out, but even within her creating this company, there's not an ending of like, which I guess is fine. You know that she got what she deserved. It's not about him, it's about her. I just feel like the plot holes in the midst was what was getting me.
But I mean, if you really think about it, she is more worse than Peter Dinklage character. He's a mafia guy. He's supposed to do what he's supposed to do. That's his job. But she is literally like cheating people. People who are helpless, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's where like she had to die in the end. So it is kind of,
Yeah, but it also makes you question that as an audience of like, oh, like because he has this term mafia and Don and these really like masculine villain notions behind him, you just kind of accept it. And then you see this woman who's basically in some sense a Don, in some sense she's like a mafia person. Then it takes a little time to like adjust to that. And it's obviously because of what she's doing too. Because at the end of the day, he's probably killing people as well. And she's not going to stop. She's like, I don't mind killing people to get to where I am. They are the same. they essentially are the same person.
Yeah, like I said, like the Don guy had to do all those things because of his job. But like this lady, she's doing because like she just like cheating all the world people like who were just helpless, who are like nobody to go to, you know. And if you like think about it, like she has like zero bond with anybody except the girlfriend. But same thing with the Don guy, who's in like completely like in love with his mother. Like he'll do just like about anything to get his mother out, you know. Because
that was interesting. It was also interesting when they what was it, when they blackmailed her with her mother, and she's like, you can kill her, she's psychotic, I don't care. It's just like, she's your mom. Please. Yeah, she was a step above villain.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that was I Care a Lot.
Yes.
Now the top show on Netflix is Behind Her Eyes. So again, a 2-line story of Behind the Lines.
Behind Her Eyes.
Behind Her Eyes, okay. Lines, eyes, same thing.
Behind Her Eyes was setting in London, and it's basically a single mom who recently, I think, divorced with a child, and then this couple moves in, and I don't really think they show them moving in, but they're kind of just there. You know, they're new. So the husband is Scottish. He comes in, that's the first thing I noticed, but he comes into this bar. Louise, the single mom, also comes into this bar. They're meeting for the first time. They share a kiss. They kind of hit it off with each other. There's no other information shared. So that's weird. And then he goes back home, and then you see, as the audience, you see that he's married. So you know he's cheating. And then the next day you find out that Louise and this husband, I can't remember any of their names. Louise and the husband, they work together. So she's going to be his secretary. And then, you know, okay, like this is going to, and it's very predictable. The whole show is predictable. Like the first couple episodes, especially, you're like, okay, they're going to have an affair. It makes sense. The wife might know, you know, all the things. And then, so this Louise basically gets sandwiched between the husband and the wife, in that she has this secret affair with the husband, but she's also really close friends and almost becomes best friends with the wife. So she's in some weird threesome type something. Then no one really knows how to
It's not
define
technically
it.
a threesome. It's kind
It's
of
not, but it's threesome.
it's
in
two
a-
single
in
sums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in an emotional way it is, because she starts to confide in her. The wife starts to confide in her, and she starts to tell her things that she's not even telling her husband. And they have a really solid relationship. And it also makes you question, because Louise is very clear from the beginning. She's like, I'm always like this really nice person. I want to screw up. I want to do the wrong thing. I want to get caught, and then I'll fix it if I get caught. And like, they're giving you everything you need to know. And then it's a lot of what you don't know. And then it's all the astral projections, and the wife, she has a background of having been in a rehab center. She has a best friend that she's met at the rehab center named Rob. And Rob is this kind of very like supporting act, very seamless in the back until in the end, and it's bam, crazy. Yeah. So that's
that show, I mean, again, I just saw a review online, so I just want to watch it. And I've seen that girl who plays Adele, the wife, in another show called The Nick, which is on HBO Max right now, which is a very good show too. So I've seen it. Kind of an old show. It's very, very good. Nice. So I've seen the guy in so many different movies before, so many action movies. He has come in different movies. So I saw
really?
that.
I've never seen him.
I've seen a lot of movies. So that was there. But the Louise character, like, she was kind of, but she was very, she acted really well. She was very, very good in this movie, right? Very good. So it's like, at the beginning itself, you know that something is wrong. The marriage is not good. So that's why, like, the guy is coming outside to the bar to have a drink with somebody.
Yeah.
He's coming there. The same way, like, every time, like she says, I mean, I love you, David. Like, he never says
He doesn't say it back. Yeah.
Every time this happens. So, like, we don't
Unless
know why.
forced.
Yeah, we don't know force. We don't know why that is. And being a psychiatrist, this guy is just like drugging his wife to keep it under control, because he knows that if he's not under medication, like, she could do like bad things or whatever. So that is the part that I really understand. So let's just like go with the ending now. We're gonna spoil everything now, okay?
It's just out here again. If you haven't watched
it, go don't listen
get
to
out. Yeah.
So anyway, we had to like work our way from back here.
Yeah, there's no way to talk about it
No way.
otherwise.
So basically, like, this movie is about astral projection, where they go into a dream state, and I don't know, where their soul or whatever, it just comes out of the body.
Yeah.
And then they can like go to all the places they have been to see what's happening.
Yeah, if they've been there in person,
they can
then
see what's
they can visit it. Correct.
And at the end, they also say that they can swap the souls. So, like, at the beginning of the movie, there is a huge scene that the Rob guy that you mentioned is dead, and he's like buried, or just like his body is in the well.
In the well, yeah.
Sad about it, blah blah blah. But you find out actually it's not Rob; it's his wife Adele, because they swapped. The Rob guy, like, you want to be. So the Rob guy is now
it, yeah.
The Rob guy is now Adele. All this time it was Rob as
Yeah,
Adele.
it was always Rob and
Rob,
what's his name? The main guy.
David.
Yeah. Most basic name.
Yeah. It's also the question I had was, so the scene where she cries and calls him to the farm to saying that, oh, Rob fell into the well, I'm sorry, blah blah blah. So do you think that right there that David know that something was wrong with Adele? That is the feeling I got, because it's the same thing happened with the son too, with the Louis son too. The moment he sees a mom, he knows that something is wrong. That's not the mom I knew. Something is wrong with her.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that maybe the scene in the well, right? Like when David comes to see Adele, she's crying, freaking out. I think at the point right there, the whole chemistry changes. He's not comfortable with her or something. I don't know. Maybe that's what they were trying to tell us, or I don't know.
I think past, so in what episode was it? I think it was one of the first half of the season. I think it was episode 3, where Louise and David are having a conversation, and Louise asks, like, did you love your wife? Like, why aren't you in love with her? Like, they're just having a conversation about their relationship. And David's like, I did used to love her. Yes. And then things changed. So I don't know if the catalyst is, obviously the catalyst for Rob and Adele is that moment where she's in the well and it's switched and no one knows. And David doesn't know, I don't think. But whatever's happened after that, and them having started to like start their life together, from that point onwards, yes, he notices that it's a different Adele, but he doesn't question that she's a different person, because
Yeah.
Adele talks about when real Adele is having a conversation with Rob, and is saying, and Rob is asking, have you talked to David about astral projections? And she's like, no, he's practical, he'd never understand. So he has no clue that this is a concept that both of them are, practicing, and it's a real thing. No idea.
Yeah.
And also that weekend kind of messed David up, because he sees that, Rob really likes Adele, and he says even to Rob, I think you could be I thought you could be a bad influence on her. I see that now you're not. And when he comes back and he's been explained to that, I did heroin with Rob, and he just wanted me to try it, so I tried it. He's like, so he was a bad influence. Like it wasn't great. So I don't think he questions that something switched. It's not like Adam with the mom, where he's like, you're a different person. It's not that. But I think he has noticed that, okay, this person was a bad influence on you, and you are acting differently, not that you are a different person.
I think maybe because the fact that he think that she killed Rob, maybe, because that's why he just could not let that go. The person I'm with actually could have killed a person. So that slowly comes down, and then he just does all the for her.
Yeah.
So the second twist is, so now the Adele, who's Rob, is trapped in the house, in a fire accident, right? So now Louise, who goes to the house, wants to save her. So she does the astral projection, she goes there and then she swaps. So now Adele she's into Louise. Then
Rob is.
Yeah, Rob, Adele is in my God, just too much.
Rob, who's supposed to be Adele, is inside Louise.
Yeah. Rob, who is Adele, is now inside Louise, and then the Louise goes in and kills the Adele, who is actually Louise, and then it's all done now. So technically, Rob was in love with David the moment he saw him.
The whole time.
So he saw him, he just felt felt in love with him.
And
you know what? The house and whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? This is really interesting, because I watched it. So I watched it with one of my best friends, and she was saying the first time Rob hears about David is when Adele and Rob are in the mental institution, and they're talking, or the rehab center, sorry, and they're talking about Adele's life. David loves me. I live in this really rich house. My life is so great. When I get out of here, it's going to be a dream. It's a picture. So it even makes you question, is Rob in love with David, or is Rob in love with the idea of Adele's life?
Yeah.
So if he just takes after Adele's life, then David is a bonus addition that he eventually falls in love with, but it's also the idea of living Adele's life.
No, but I think the first time Rob sees David, he can clearly see he's completely attracted to him, because he's a very good looking guy and everything. But the other point I had was the parents' death, who died in the fire. So did Adele cause the fire, or just an accident?
I think it was just an accident, and I think it's really sad, because in the end you feel so bad for Adele, because you're like, oh, you're such a sweetie. This just happened to you. Yeah. And I think it was an accident, and that proves to you that it was an accident, because she doesn't mean, there's no ill intention from Adele, and she sees this astral projection sometimes as a problem because of that night. She's like, if I'm awake, if I was myself, if I was there, if I was just sleeping, then I would have noticed it and I would have helped. So the fact that she has so much guilt about it makes me think that's not a twist. I don't think she created the fire.
Yeah, I mean, it was, to me, the last, I just told Kumar to watch. I told him the first 5.5 hours is going to be kind of slow, but last 30 minutes is amazing payoff. You have to wait.
It's not even 30 minutes for me. It was the last 7 minutes, to be honest. And it's that scene where they switch and they go back to the flashback where Adele and him switch, it's in the bathroom or in the tub or something. They switch for the first time. And then everyone is just like, that's Rob. That's when it hits you. And we, again, my friend and I, we couldn't stop thinking about it. And we were just like, if you watch the show again, the hints are everywhere. Yeah. It is. The fact that you don't see it is actually mind-blowing. That's the
but I don't think but in the beginning, the astral projection is not a huge deal, right?
Yeah, it's not
just
even
the way the background.
Yeah, and when it's brought in, you're kind of like, where are they going with this? It's like, why is this? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But then it's justified.
Yeah, like there is that one scene where like Louise goes to a house once, and then like Adele is just like kind of like in a trance.
Yeah, and she starts to
just
put
comes back like 2 times. She just like comes back to it. I don't know
Yeah.
what that scene was about. Maybe like
and
it's
she starts to connect so Adele likes to visit her past selves and the places that she's been, like the forest, and that's why she's painting it and all the different things. So that part made sense to me. I was mad at myself for not figuring it out in this scene when Adele was not in the rehab center for drug use, right? She was never in there for that. If you notice, they're very clear about that. She has sleep issues. She wasn't able to sleep. She was waking up. She was sleepwalking, all the different things with sleep. She was in there for that reason. Rob was in there because of his drug problem.
addiction.
They made that very clear. And why we don't put 2 and 2 together when we see Adele take the syringe out and stab her feet, that's Rob. That's all Rob. That's no question of Adele's not gonna do that. And then another scene where it's kind of evident is, which this is it's more of a visual thing, so maybe everyone might not notice it, but when David visits Adele and Rob in that house, and they're making that's chicken or whatever they're making, and he's helping him with the oven, and Rob just looks at him, and David is glowing, and everyone's just like, oh, why did he just look at him that way? And it makes you question, is Rob gay? Is what's happening? What's the sexuality?
I think Rob is gay. That's what it means.
Yeah, Rob is, he's definitely gay, but it's just, and that's the scene where you're also so we see it, but then we also don't question it. And that was such great writing, because it's all there. We just don't question it.
No, other thing was the way she's cutting the vegetables. I think there is some hints over there. Because the cooking scene, they show the Rob is cutting.
The hints. There's so many Easter eggs. Yeah.
So many. But it was amazing. It was amazing show to watch.
Yeah. It's the payoff in the end.
Payoff is very,
so good. It's so good.
Yeah. It's very good.
And their acting was good. I loved Adam. And I felt so bad in the end when Adam's like, you don't like boats. And I'm like, it's not your mom. Someone tell this kid it's not his mom.
The poor. I mean, the thing is, like I said, the Louise character, she wants to be bad that 1 month. She's telling, I want to be, I've been good so many, I just need to be bad. Maybe that's a whole thing. It costs the whole thing to go about. I still don't understand why this Rob Adele tried to befriend this Louise character. I don't know what was the purpose of that. Maybe to find out more about him, or I don't know. I don't know why though.
I think David obviously now doesn't like the new Adele because it's Rob, and Rob kind of sees that he's not in love with me, and because Adele can go all these places that she's visited. She's been, if you've seen the first scene where Louise sees Adele, Rob, they're in the office where he's about to start working. So Rob's been there. He's seen the place. He knows what's up. So when the couple of times when they're having their sexual encounters in this office, Rob has been there. So Rob, there's a scene even when they're doing it, and Rob's just in watching them, and you're like, what is happening? Why is Adele just doing this? And that then makes you question.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
That's what it is, because he wants to take Louise's life now. So what's in the future of this, if the show was to continue in some way, or if their lives were to continue in some way, at some point maybe Rob's real emotions and real self will come out through Louise, and David could again hate Louise, and maybe he'll find some other woman in a different city, and Rob will just jump into that other woman. It is just that loop of, I have this ability to do this.
I don't know if they can have a second season on this show. I mean, I don't know whether, because
it is a limited series.
I read, because we say
they can. Yeah.
They can. It's not like that the other show called You. Have you seen that You show?
I did watch You. Yeah, I did watch You.
Kind of the same thing. Yeah.
That is the same thing. I didn't think about that.
Kind of the same thing. But
also, I was gonna ask, did you watch the movie Us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I feel like towards the end with Louise, when she was reacting to Adam, and she's like, people change, and all these different, where it's intensely creepy, and she's again coming back to I Care a Lot, where they're trying to present themselves in words in their vocabulary that I'm a great person, and then that they're awful. It's that same idea of being a villain but being nice. But it's also sad to think that Rob has to go through this to be with David. It just
But I mean, again, if you think about it, he's a bad person, right? He has to go through what he has.
he's
He has to
bad,
go through.
but at the core of it, like there's no way to justify this, but the core of it is this: it's love.
But there is
and
no
then
way to justify, especially like doing that to Adele, who usually is a sweetie. She's a very innocent person who
Yeah.
really trusts Rob. Who
And
just
is your
brought him into
friend.
school.
Is
Yeah,
your
his
best
friend. Yeah, brought him into her world, showed him everything, all the things
Yeah.
she has.
The
Right?
nightmare. Yeah.
I think about almost like everybody was like harsh to Rob in that place, right? Like in the psychiatric place, but she was very nice to him, right? She was very nice to him, very friendly, very trusting, you know.
And that makes you question it. It's like, did he think twice? I wish
Oh,
they had
he
gone
did.
into
Yeah.
Rob's character a little bit more, because it's like, did you question that you wanted to do this to Adele? Because you do like her. You are her friend.
No, but like he says to her, right? I mean, I'm sorry, but like, you know, like you shouldn't have shown
Yeah.
all this to me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, and we should have known it's Rob, because only Rob knows that that if you inject yourself, then you can't. You're paralyzed essentially, and he's the only one that knows that. Adele doesn't know that technically. God, it's like this annoyment that you didn't figure it out. It's just crazy.
It's I mean, I just watched with Chitti actually. Right? Yeah. So yeah, it was good. Yeah, she liked it too. She liked it, and then like I mean, I made her watch Aikar a lot too. And she liked it too. So, yeah, it's a good movie. So
Yeah.
it's awesome, Harini. Awesome talking with you. It's wonderful.
That was fun.
Have all these discussions. So how would you like? You know what? Let me just stop this recording, and then we'll talk a little bit more. Hello. Thanks for watching my video. உங்களுக்கு இந்த வீடியோ பிடிச்சிருந்தா இந்த சேனலுக்கு சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்க, இந்த வீடியோக்கு லைக் போடுங்க, and then like keep supporting my channel. Thank you.